Okay, so before we start, we do these classes every week on Yoga for Runners HQ. We try to mix it up. They're a maintenance class. And what that really means is we're going to cover all aspects of the body. Maintenance classes are really good once a week because they obviously stretch the body. They can build some strength in parts of the body, but they're also a good reminder to what's going on in your body. And you're on a fairly aggressive training plan, or even not, or even if you don't do any running, it's always good to check in with how you are in your body. And yoga is a great tool for that because we push our body into so many different postures, 3 planes of movement. We take a moment, we connect with the feelings in the body, and we take an assessment. And we might realize, actually, I'm a bit tight on that side. Why is that? Oh, that might be because I did that the other day. So it's a really good way of checking in with your body, keeping on top of yourself physically. It's great, obviously, for runners, because it makes us run a lot faster. We increase our PBs. So we're going to start. So welcome, everybody. Nice big crowd. We're going to start straight away. So find a comfortable seated position. If you haven't got blocks, that's okay. Get a book or a cushion or something. But if you want to sit cross-legged, maybe perch yourself a little bit higher, because this allows, if you've got tight hips, the hips to release, and you can allow a little bit of release through the lower body. I say find a comfortable position. You don't have to have your legs crossed. You can take your legs out in front of you. But find somewhere where you can get a little bit of lift through the spine. Okay, lift through the spine, raises the ribs, lift up through the crown of the head, gets a little bit more space in your lungs so we can breathe a little bit more efficiently. You can rest your hands on your knees. You can take a mudra if you wish, or you can just rest your hands on the lap. With a big breath in, we're going to breathe in. And as we breathe in, we're going to lift the chest up, lift up through the crown of the head. Big breath as high as you can. Hold at the top just for a count of 2 maybe. And then as you exhale through the mouth, soften through the shoulders, soften through the hips, allow that sense of release with the breath. And we'll do one more of those breaths. So breathing in really deeply, filling up the lungs, lifting the shoulders up, lifting the clavicle up, feel the chest rise. Pause at the top, open the mouth, and let it all go. Keeping your eyes closed or fixing on something in front of you. It's a natural breath now. And just taking a moment to check in with your body. How you're feeling this evening. How are the shoulders? How's the hips? Am I carrying any tension anywhere that I can let go? And let it go. And let the breath simply occur. And think about where your head is. And whatever is occupying your space, bring your awareness into the feelings across your body. The feeling of the movement of air through the body. The feeling of the grounding into the floor beneath you. And stay here just for a couple of breaths, connecting with yourself. You've afforded this time to have a little bit of me time for the next hour. So stay within your space. And then a few rounds of box breathing. Breathing in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4 at the top, breathing out for a count of 4, and holding after the exhale for a count of 4. Making those counts comfortable for yourself. But try to pattern that breath. And drawing a box in your mind with each phase of the breath. Maybe the sense in the echo of your heartbeat. Breathing in and out through the nose. Softening any tension in your body on the exhales. Feeling connected. One more round. And then open your eyes. And we're going to take our hands up and have a little bit of a big lift here. Lovely to see, loads of big hands. up on the screen. Breathe in. On an exhale, side bend to the left. Drop the left hand down, right hand over. You just stretch across as much as you can. Inhale, lift both hands up. Exhale to the right. Finding that length through the side of the body here. Come up. One more to the left. Go a little bit deeper this time. Inhale up. And one more to the right. Inhale the hands up, turning through the shoulders to the left as you drop the hand onto the knee and the other hand goes behind. Squeeze around, pull the tummy button in for a twist here. And then come all the way back, hands up. And all the way around to the right. Squeezing around, pulling the belly in. Inhale the hands up. Fingertips onto your shoulders, elbows out to the side. Draw some circles with the elbows. Forwards, feeling the shoulder blades rising up and down in the upper back. Doesn't take too long for a little bit of maybe lactic or stiffness to come here. And go the other way, so unwind. Not going too fast because we're going anti-clockwise and we don't want our shoulders unscrewing and falling off. Just going enough. Joking. Okay. Coming on to our fronts. Let's get the spine moving. So come into a tabletop position. So shoulders on top of wrists, knees under hips, knees are hip width apart. Looking down at the mat. With a breath in, drop the tummy down, lift the head just slightly, point the bottom up in the air. With a breath out, round through the shoulders, tuck the tailbone under, pull the tummy button into the spine, drop the head between the shoulders. 4 of these with your breath, maybe closing the eyes. Feeling that movement of your spine. The whole spine is moving through this posture. Just noting any tightness anywhere in your body, particularly in your lower back, being cautionary with anything that doesn't feel right. When you've done 4 of those, come back to a stable position, move the shoulders forwards and backwards, take the hips from side to side, a little bit of lateral movement in the spine. Okay, come to a neutral position. Take the hands as far forward as you can, hips on top of the knees. Reach forward and lower the chest down towards the mat for this cat stretch. Lowering the armpits to the floor, soft through the arms here, finding some tension in your body. Let the forehead come towards the floor and enjoying this really glorious stretch here, the upper body. Wherever you've been today, if you've been hunched over a computer, this is a nice stretch. Walk the hands backwards, just slightly further forward of the shoulders, quite wide in the fingers here. Going to come up into a downward dog. So tuck your toes and knees are still hip width apart. Lean or sit back towards the heels and then push into the mat with the knees as you lift the hips up, straighten the legs. And as you come into downward dog, dropping the head down between the shoulders, look back at the ankles. Bending one knee, pushing the opposite heel into the floor and then go on to the other leg. So pedaling through the legs, just loosening off the stickiness in the back of the legs. Looking back at your ankles, lifting the sit bones up and backwards as you lengthen through the spine, a bit like that cat stretch. Find that length you just found in cat stretch in your upper back here. And then come up onto your toes, really push your toes into the mat as you stretch out the fascia in the soles of the feet. And then hold here, a couple of breaths. If you've got plantar fasciitis, this is a really good posture to build into your daily practice. Send the heels down. A couple of breaths here. And then inhale, come through into a high press up plank position. Shoulders come on top of wrists, keeping those fingers wide, leveling out the body, pulling the core in, pushing back onto the heels. You can drop onto your knees anytime if your wrists are quite sensitive this evening. But if you can, hold plank, stay here, looking down at the floor, breathing nice and slowly. And drop onto your knees, lower your chest and chin to the floor, tops of the feet on the floor. As you inhale, pull the chest away from the mat, keeping the elbows tucked in, lift up through the crown of the head, looking straight ahead or diagonally down, not craning your neck. Pull forwards and through and up, trying to lengthen through the spine here, not hinging in the lower back. And then when you're ready, let go. Release to the floor, push up onto your knees. Tuck your toes in, lift into downward dog. Inhale the left leg as high as you can, come up on the toes of the right foot. Step the left foot forward between the hands, low lunge. Ankle is under knee. Turn the shoulders to the left. Take the left hand up for a twisted lunge here and take that left arm back as far as you can. Pulling your tummy button in, keeping the hips stable. Bring that hand all the way down to the floor, keeping the hips stable. Turn the shoulders to the right. Take the right hand up. Good. Come back down. Push into the mat with the hands. Step back into downward dog. Inhale the right leg nice and high up onto the toes of the left foot. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Knee on top of ankle. Low lunge. Keeping the core pulled in here. Turn the shoulders to the right. Take the right hand up for a twisting lunge. Come back down. Keeping the hips steady. Turn to the left. Left hand up. A little bit more tricky this time, but go as far as you can. And come back down. Step back into downward dog. Inhale through to plank. Exhale, slowly lower down, knees, chest, chin. Tops of the feet on the mat. Inhale up into cobra. Exhale to the floor. Inhale onto your knees. Step the left foot forward between the hands. With an inhale, pull your belly in, come to an upright position, lift the hands up into crescent moon. On the exhale, lean into this lunge as you really stretch that front hip flexor. Okay, and from here, you're going to cactus the arms. Bring the elbows down, stay looking forwards, elbows down, shoulder height, palms face forwards. And then pull the elbows back, shoulder blades come towards each other. Find this posture here. Inhale the hands up, exhale the hands down, either side of that left foot. Tuck the right toes in, lift the right knee off of the mat, walk the hands backwards. If you need blocks to find pyramid posture, find something you can lean on to get both legs straight. Okay. Pushing back into that back heel, lowering the chest down on that front leg. And then drawing the left hip backwards. Draw the sit bone backwards to find tension in that hamstring. Breathe nice and slowly here. And then bend that left knee, step all the way back into downward dog. Inhale the right leg nice and high. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Drop the left knee to the floor. Pull the belly in. Come to an upright position. Inhale the hands up. Crescent moon. Exhale, lean into this lunge. Keeping that core engaged to support your lower back. And then cactus the arms here. So bring the elbows down, shoulder height, palms face forwards. Pull the elbows back, shoulder blades towards each other, chest goes forwards. And really hold, stabilize here. Keep the trapezius active, bringing those shoulder blades towards each other, but still leaning into this lunge to stretch out your psoas, rectus femoris hip flexors. Inhale the hands up, exhale the hands to the floor, either side of that right foot. Tuck the left toes in, lift the left knee up, walk the hands backwards on blocks or support to find pyramid. And then with both legs as straight as you can. Some of us are going to be tight in the hammies, so they won't be that straight, but find tension in your body. Lower your chest down on that leading leg and breathe. Try to soften around your quads, your knee. Maybe just feel if they're contracting. If they are, let go. It's much easier to pull against soft tissue than it is contracting muscles. Okay, bending that front knee, walking the hands to the top of the mat. Step to the top of the mat, bent knee forward bend. And then tuck the chin in. With the knees bent, roll to a mountain standing position. Roll the shoulders back, inhale the hands up. Then drop the hands behind you, clasp the hands together, straighten the arms. Bend the knees, put the bum out, and then slowly come forward. So the chest comes down onto the thighs as you bring those straight arms as far forward as you can. Softening through the shoulders, releasing any tension so you can take those arms a little bit further forwards. And then pulling your tummy button in, slowly come to an upright position as you straighten up. Knees straighten out at the end. As the arms come behind you, look up and go for a little side bend here as you drive those clasped hands down behind you towards the floor. Bending the knees, slowly come all the way forwards again. Chest comes down to thighs, keeping those shoulders really active. Bring the arms forwards. And then push back into the floor with the feet as you start to straighten up, lift up, drive those arms backwards. Inhale the hands up. Swan dive down to the floor on straight legs. If your lower back is sensitive, bend your knees, but take the hands towards the floor. When your hands come to the floor or towards the floor, rest them on your shins, your ankles. Inhale, lift the chest into half forward bend, flat through the back. Hold here, pushing the knees back. Bending the knees, hands to the floor. You can step or walk all the way back to a plank or a jump to find plank, whatever works in your practice, leveling out the body here. And then slowly lower down onto your knees or come down halfway to a tricep press, half plank, and then drop the knees down, tops of the feet on the mat. Pull the chest forwards and through and up on an inhale, lifting the front of the pelvis off of the mat. Look up or look to the front. Exhale down. Inhale into tabletop, tuck the toes in, lift into downward dog. Inhale the left leg nice and high, come up on the toes of the right foot. Step the left foot forward between the hands. Ground the back heel down, and we're going to flamboyantly windmill all the way up with that right hand and around into warrior 2. Okay. Inhaling, stretching the fingertips away as you lengthen through the arms. Exhale, bend that front knee. And then a big inhale. We're going to windmill down, lift up that back heel, take the hands all the way down. Hands to the floor. Step back into downward dog. Inhale the right leg nice and high. Up onto the toes of the left foot. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Maybe take a couple of goes, that's okay. And then ground that back heel. And we're going to windmill the left arm all the way up and around and back. Okay, warrior 2. This time we're going to windmill the hands to the top of the mat, lift that back heel, step to the top of the mat. Walk the feet back a little bit to the middle of the mat, tuck the chin in, roll up to standing. Inhale the hands up, hold the hands nice and high and wide, ground down through your right foot, lift the left knee off of the mat, standing staff, just check the balance out. Doesn't matter if you're a little bit wobbly. Okay, hands to heart center. Lean forwards on that slightly bent front leg and find warrior here. You could keep your hands onto your chest or you can reach forward with wide arms to find some balance. Bring your hands back to your chest. Drop that left foot back into a very shallow stride here. Straight up through the body, hands on shoulders. Going to do some split squats. Okay, split squat is basically bending the knees, dropping down the hips to the floor. Inhale up. You don't have to come all the way down, enough that you can control it, but try to keep the upper body vertical as you come up and down. Really working the quads, making sure your right is pointing over your toes. We'll do 5 of these. Come up. The next one, we're going to come down and turn to the right. So twisting through the torso to the right. Lift up, stay forward. The next one, we're going to side bend to the right. Drop the right hand down the side, left hand over, and come down on the knees. Really good. Inhale, lift up. Turn through 180 degrees. Look the other way. Okay, and then lift up into standing staff as you bring that right foot up. Hands quite wide here. And then bring your hands to your heart center. Lean forwards as you take that right leg back for warrior. And stretch the arms out in front if you've got the balance here. Arms nice and wide. Bring your hands to your heart center. Drop that right foot back onto the ball of the right foot for split squats here. So bringing the stride length quite close together. Hands on shoulders. Inhale, on an exhale, come and dip down. Upper body coming straight down, not leaning forwards, really working through the quads. If you can hear crackling on your screen or your computer, it's not interference, it's the arthritis in my knees. That's okay, they still work. Okay, we come back 5 of these. Then we're going to turn in on that next one to the left, turning through the torso and dropping down. Inhale up and then a side bend. Inhale up. Exhale the hands to the top of the mat. Low lunge. Step back into downward dog. Inhale through to plank. Exhale to the floor. Knees, chest, chin. Tops of the feet on the floor. Inhale through into cobra, or even upward dog, as maybe the knees come off of the mat as you lift up through the crown of the head, pull the shoulder blades back down the body. Exhale to the floor. Inhale onto your knees, tuck your toes in. Exhale to downward dog. Inhale the left leg nice and high. Exhale, bring that knee down the center line towards your chest, your nose, rounded through the shoulders. Inhale, lift up. Exhale down. Inhale the right leg nice and high. And again, come all the way down through the center of the body here, knee to nose, nose to knee. Inhale, lift up. Come back down. Look up between your hands. Walk to the top of the mat, or maybe bend at the knees, a little bit of floaty jump to the top of the mat. Whatever's in your practice. Tuck the chin in, roll up to standing. Inhale the hands up, tall mountain. Exhale the hands onto your chest. Lean your way onto your left foot. Lean forwards a little bit, step the right foot back into a high crescent lunge position. Then inhale both arms up nice and high. Exhale, lunge dip, bend the knees, draw the arms down the side. Lovely. Inhale up and go again. Lunge dip. Inhale up, ground that back heel down, turn to the front, drop the left arm in front of you, right hand behind for warrior two. Just turn around so I can see you guys. And then from here, establishing this posture, take that front palm up and lean back, arms in alignment as you lift up into reverse warrior, turn and look up at that left hand, going for height here as you really stretch through the front of the body, and then target your breath into that space. Straighten out that front leg, reverse triangle as you lean further back into a deeper back bend. And then come all the way upright, arms horizontal, lean forwards, and then take the left hand down towards the shin or on the inside. Turn towards the side, take the right hand up, the triangle. Turn and look to the side or look up. A couple of breaths here. You can bring that right arm forwards for a longer stretch to the side here as an option. Bend this front knee. Keep the arm there, or maybe rest your forearm on the thigh if it's starting to get a bit too much. Then bring that right arm forwards for side angle. Look up at that right hand. Big stretch through the right side. Ribs open, breathe into the space. Turn and look in front of you. Draw that right arm down to the side and back. Lift the back heel up. Take the left hand back. And a step to the top of the mat for chair. So step your right foot to the top of the mat. Inhale the hands up into chair. Reach the hands up really high in front of you. Draw the knees back. So when you glance down, you can see your toes. So you're leaning on the balls of the feet, counterbalancing with your arms. And breathe. And then slowly lower the hands down to the floor. Come up onto your toes for a balanced chair here. Sweep the arms behind you and hover here. See how the toes are today. Dropping the heels. Inhale the hands up, chair. Exhale, fold forward. Bent knee forward, bend. Step or walk back into downward dog. Inhale through to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or halfway down and put the top of the feet on the mat. And then left through and up into upward dog, or lift into cobra. Keep your pelvis, your knees on the floor, your choice. You can drop onto your knees and lift into downward dog, or you can lift your hips up, step, roll over the toes. Downward dog. A few breaths here, just calming things down. Bend in the knees, walk into the top of the mat, or a little spring jump to the top of the mat. Tuck the chin in, roll up to standing, to mountain, rolling the shoulders back. Inhale the hands up, tall mountain. Hands down onto your chest. Grounded down through your right foot, lean forward a little to step the left foot back onto the ball of the left foot. Finding this lunge position, inhaling both hands up nice and high above the head. Exhale, lunge dip as you soften, bend the knees, bring the arms down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drop down. Inhale, up. Okay, grounding that back heel, float the right arm down in front of you, left hand behind for warrior two. Okay, turn that front palm up. Arms in alignment as you lift up into reverse warrior, turn and look up above you. Going for height now. Start to warm the body up. Then straighten that front leg, reverse triangle, back bend. Putting the tummy in, come all the way upright, arms horizontal, lean forwards over that straight leg. Bend at the waist, triangle, hand on the shin or further down. Finding that good alignment through the body, flat, shoulders on hips, on ankles. Bringing that top arm forwards if you want. Get a little bit of a longer stretch here. Bending that front knee. Again, forearm on the thigh or arm to the floor. And bring that top arm forwards for side angle. And then lifting the back heel as you look forwards, bring that left arm down the side. Take the right arm back the other side like airplane wings. And we're going to step to the top of the mat into chair. This time we're going to bring our hands onto our chest. Drop the hips a little bit. Turn around to the left for a twist here. Maybe get the elbow onto the outside of the knee or close is good enough. If you're here, you can straighten the arms out for a deeper bind. You don't have to. It doesn't bring you wealth, riches, happiness. It's just something to do. Turn all the way around to the other side. Twist in chair here. Again, see how you go with your range of movement. Is what you feel in your body. It's not aesthetically what we're trying to do. Come all the way forwards. Hands to the floor. Walk back into a downward dog. And then this time, you're going to drop the knees to the floor, to the outside of the mat. Join the big toes together, sit the hips back onto the heels. Reach the hands forwards, let the forehead come to the floor. We're going to take 5 breaths here in child, but we're going to still move. So as you breathe in, soften your tummy. Allow your tummy to release to the floor. And as you breathe out, engage your pelvic floor, your root lock, as you pull your pelvic floor up into your tummy area and then pull your tummy button up into your lower rib crest towards your solar plexus. Inhale, soften the core, release. Carry on, 4 more breaths like that. Just slowing things down. Just getting a little bit of recovery here. And then coming to the end of this, look up between the hands. Lift up, bring the knees hip width apart, bring the hands a little bit further forwards, just in front of the shoulders, quite wide in the fingers. Good foundation here. Tuck the toes in, lean back onto the heels. Push into the mat with the toes, lift the knees away, and then look back at your ankles as you straighten the legs, downward dog. Inhale, the left leg nice and high. Exhale, left knee to left elbow and hold, hover. Stabilize, synergize, active in the core. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. And the right leg comes up on the next inhale. Then bend in the knee, bring it towards the right elbow and hover here. Inhale, lift up. And down. Inhale the left leg nice and high onto the toes of the right foot. Step the left foot forward between the hands. Ground the back heel down. We'll come to warrior one this time. So sweep the hands forwards and up. Lift up. If you find a pinch in your lower back, turn into the right slightly. Still looking forwards. Few breaths here. And then take the arms out nice and wide. We're going to take eagle arms here. So we're going to take the left arm under the right arm, elbows cross. Bend the elbows, fingers point up. Backs the hands touch or get a bind on with the hands or a finger and a thumb. In warrior position. Lift the elbows up and then slowly fold forwards. Take the elbows down on the inside of that left leg and come down a little bit deeper. Hold here. And slowly come all the way up. Release the hands, inhale the hands up, lift that back heel up. High crescent lunge. And then fold forwards, hands to the floor, ready for standing split. Stand up on that left leg, the right leg comes up about hip height. In your 3 points of contact here, straightening out through that standing leg. You can stay here. If you want to try your balance, lift your fingers off of the mat by a centimeter or two, or even an ankle grab. Keeping your focus, keeping your breath, allowing any adjustments to really work that standing leg, that standing ankle. And then return back to the floor, drop the right foot down. Step back into downward dog. Inhale the right leg nice and high. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Ground that back heel down. When you're ready, inhale the hands forwards and up. Warrior one, looking straight ahead. Again, making any adjustments for your body. And keeping the breath as steady as you can. Taking eagle arms here, dropping the arms down. Sweep the right arm under the left, elbows cross. Find a bind here, lift the elbows up. Inhale, and then start leaning forwards, folding forwards. Go as low as you can go. And stay here, a couple of breaths. And then slowly lift up. Release the hands. Inhale the hands up. Lift that back heel up. Fold forwards. For standing split, hands to the floor and lift up on that right leg. As you straighten out through that right leg, lift the left leg up about hip height. You can point your toes away. And then see how the balance is on this side with fingertips floating off of the floor or an ankle grab. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work. It doesn't matter if you only hold it for a breath. What matters is you accept the challenge and you develop more strength in that ankle, especially if your ankle is quite weak. If you've twisted it, if the ligaments are a bit loose, these are great postures. Drop the hands down, standing split, drop that left foot back. Step back into downward dog, drop onto your knees. Bring your knees together, sit back onto your heels. If this is too much, you can get a block and plop your bum between your legs and sit on a block. But if you can stay in hero, lift the hands up and take a side bend to the left as you drop the left hand down and reach over with the right hand. And lift both hands up and a side bend to the right. Lift up, hands down, just behind the feet. Okay, again, if you're on a block, maybe sit this one out, but this is a really good one for your ankles. Lean back on your hands or your fingertips and try to lift the knees off of the mat to stretch out the front of the ankles. A little bit of dorsiflex. And release. fold forwards onto your hands, tuck your toes in and sit the hips back onto the heels, really push it into the toes, lift the hands up. Okay, fold forwards, staying on your toes, lift the knees off with your hands supported here. Stay here if this is enough for you. If you've got the balance, hands come to your heart center and stay here for a few breaths. Just working that balance, really working those toes, those toe knuckles. Good, fold forwards onto your knees. Walk the hands forward, come into tabletop. Okay, couple of cat cows here, just to loosen off the spine. So breathing in, soften the tummy, tummy goes to the floor. Breathe out, round through the back. Okay, from here, come to a neutral position. With an inhale, float the right arm up to the side of the head as the left leg points back, about hip height. Point the toes, point the fingers. With an exhale, elbow to knee, knee to elbow as you round through the spine. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, fold in. And this one we're going to hold. So looking down at the mat, stretching out through the body and breathing. I'm going to move to awkward airplane. So sweep that right arm down the side to the right as the left leg comes forward to the left. Find the balance here. And feel where the tightness is in your hips. Come all the way forwards, balancing cat. Well done. Drop down. Rock the hips from side to side. A little bit of work in that left hip. Hip rotators, glutes. Okay, and we go again on the other side. So when you're ready, float the left arm up to the side of the head, palm down. Point the right toes back as you straighten that right leg out. Exhale, knee to elbow, elbow to knee, rounded through the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, close in. Inhale, a bit further this time. And hold and look down at the mat. Trying to soften where you can, find ease in the postures if you can, but keeping the breath nice and steady. Draw that left arm back on the left side, bring that right foot forwards on the right side for awkward aeroplane, and checking in how it compares this side to the other side. How are my hips checking out? And lengthen, extend. Come back down to the floor. Well done. Sit back onto the heels. Reach the hands forwards. Stretch out into child here. A couple of breaths here. And then come up into tabletop. And then tuck the toes in. Lift into downward dog. And then look up between the hands. Right foot forward between the hands. And then we're going to come up into a Superman posture. So lift that left leg off of the mat and take the arms out nice and wide here. Slowly come and stand to a standing position as we straighten up the body. Sweep that left leg forwards, lift the hands up nice and high. And then rest the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Bring the hands together on your chest. Slowly lower down to standing pigeon. Roll or stay here. You might want to take the arms out nice and wide, palms facing down, and lean a little bit deeper into this posture. It's just an option. If you're okay with your hands on your chest, that's fine. This just gets you a little deeper into the posture, a little bit of external hip rotation. Drop the hands to the floor if you can, or drop that foot to the floor. Walk back into downward dog. Inhaling, the left leg nice and high. Step the left foot forwards. Ready to come to a Superman. So push into the mat with that left foot as you sweep the arms backwards to find that balance here. Lift the right leg off of the mat. Slowly, in your own time, keeping your eyes on the prize here, staring down at the mat. As you come to an upright position, sweep the arms up above you, bending that right knee, right ankle on top of thigh, hands down to heart center, your chest, slowly bending into standing pigeon, dropping the hips. Staying here if this is enough for you, or taking the arms out wide, palms down, maybe lean a little bit deeper. We've got a great posture, flying pigeon. That's one for next week, maybe. Release, drop the feet to the floor, fold forwards, come back into downward dog, drop onto your knees, and then going to lower all the way down. One more prone position before we come down onto our bottoms. So lie down flat on your mat, take your feet out nice and wide, take the arms out nice and wide down the side of the body, palms face down. Inhale into locust, either legs off the mat or chest off the mat or both. As you find locust here, finding that lift. Stay here. Options here, sweep the arms forwards, reach forwards, and then lift the fingers up. Bend the knees, lift the toes up into skydive. Still breathing. And wherever you are, come out of skydive, draw the hands back again down the side of the body. Release. Stack your forearms in front of you. Rest your forehead on your forearms and take a breath or two. Feeling connected with sensations across your body, feeling that release and how that feels for you. Okay, bring the hands either side of the ribcage. Push up onto your knees. Walk the feet forward, the knees forwards, cross the ankles if you can. Roll back onto your bottoms into a seated position. Connect with your sit bones on the mat, the bony bits at the bottom of your pelvis, and roll back behind the sit bones. Float the legs up into boat, hands behind the hamstrings to support if you want, or hands out either side of the legs. Okay, inhale in here. On the exhale, toe tap the left foot, inhale up. Exhale, toe tap the right foot. Just keep going with that. Trying to keep quite stable through this movement. So it's just the knee that's flexing and extending, nice and steady in the core. Feel the work now start to happen. Keeping that stability, drawing in your belly, flattening your ribs. And stop here. Straighten the legs if you can. Tall boat. Find boat again. Lower down, lengthen through the body here. So the shoulders come back, the legs go forwards. Low boat. And if you can, come back to boat. Well done. This is really hard. Hands out to the side. And a boat with oars as you float the arms up and down. Good, well done. Drop the feet to the floor. Whew. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of release in that. So cross your legs if you can, lift up through the spine. Inhale here. On an exhale, turn your shoulders to the left, right hand on left knee. Take the left hand behind for a twist here, and then draw your shoulders around and turn and look back over the left shoulder, pulling the tummy button in. And release. Maybe uncross the legs and cross them the other way. Turn your around to your right, left hand on right knee, right hand behind to lift through the spine so we're not leaning back in the twist, and then draw the shoulders around and turn, look over your right shoulder, pulling the belly in. and sending the breath into the top of the ribs here. The diaphragm's pretty restricted. Using your costal muscles to open the ribs. Try this when you're out training, out running, using your ribs to breathe. Come all the way back. Straighten out the right leg, keeping the left knee bent, sole of the foot into the thigh. Turn and face over that straight leg, ankle flex, the toes are pointing up. Reach the hands up, because this will start rotating the pelvis forwards. You might already find there's some hamstring tension. That's great. If you've got it, then drop the hands down. We're trying to draw the chest forwards to generate some tension in the hamstrings. Think about your right sit bone and draw that backwards as you lean the chest forwards. When you get to that point of tension, stay here. Soften the bent knee. Just check there's nothing fired up in the quad around the knee joint. And work with your breath on this tension. So maybe close your eyes, but generate that nice, smooth, deep sigh in your throat as you exhale. Prolong the exhale. And as you exhale, draw your chest forwards a little bit further as you go longer, deeper into this posture. All of the time, trying to soften through the knee, the quad. Get a little bit more length through the hamstring, really stretching that connective tissue. Feeling all of the sensations as you develop this posture. And try to find some comfort here. Okay, and release. All right. Resting your left ankle on top of your thigh. Take your hands behind you to lean back on your hands and then lift that right knee up, sliding that foot and to find seated pigeon. Okay, it's going to be different for everybody, but what we're trying to do is bring that right knee forwards and take the chest forwards to find tension somewhere around the glutes. And when you've got to that tension, hold here and again, soften everything in around that hip, around that bent knee. And release. Okay, return the feet to the floor. And we're going to change around. So straighten out that left leg, bend the right knee, sole of the foot comes into the thigh. Position your body so that you're facing over the straight leg, ankles flexed, toes pointing up. Reach the hands up and lean forwards, flatten the lower back. Try to get the pelvis rotating forwards. Seeing what goes on in that hamstring, drop the hands down. And then before we do anything, just soften all of the emotional muscles that are contracted on that right knee. Like teenagers. No offense to any teenagers on the call. Lift the chest forwards, pull that left sit bone back, and lower into this posture. 5 breaths, ocean breaths here. Lengthening those exhales, connecting with your body, your tension. Bring your mind onto the process. Stay for a moment here as you try to find some ease where you can, protracting those exhales, finding those deeper layers of tension. And then slowly come back. Okay, so from this position, rest the ankle, the right ankle on top of the thigh, the knee. Take the hands back for stability support. Slowly slide that left heel back towards you to find that rotation in the hip. And then there's a combination of the knee coming back and the chest going forwards to find some tension in your right hip and soften everywhere around that hip. and release. Straighten that left leg out. Take the right leg out, nice and wide, quite wide here. Find tension already in your adductors. Ankles flexed, toes pointing up. Not a particularly nice asana, not one of my most favorite, but actually one that really is good for us, particularly if you're active. So from here again, think about your sit bones. Come onto the front of the sit bones, nice and flat in the lower back, lean forwards a little. Take the knees outwards. This will rotate the femurs in the pelvis, in the socket. Rest the fingertips on the floor in front of you, keeping the chest quite high, using your fingertips to rotate the pelvis forwards to find a deeper layer of tension here and hold here. Trying to take the backs of the knees down into the floor. Try to soften around the quads. Find that tension and breathe into this space. Try to visualize your own pelvis, the femurs in the sockets, and your own pelvis just rotating a little bit further forward on each exhale as you soften the tension with the breath. Not big movements, fractional movements. I would encourage anybody, if they got time in the week, if they're watching anything on the telly, sit down onto the floor in front of the telly, get into this position, stay here for a few minutes. And then walk the hands backwards. I'm going to lift the knees, getting the hands under the knees, draw the knees up and bring the heels together, soles of the feet together, hands on top of the ankles, and a little butterfly flutterby movement here, just to soften through the hips. If you've got space behind you, if you can, with the time remaining, just come up into bridge just for a couple of breaths as you lift the hips up. Keep the tailbone tucked under. Keep the legs parallel if you can. Use the glutes to drive the hips up. And then slowly roll down. As the pelvis comes to the floor, lift the knees up, squeeze the knees in. Stretch out the left leg. Keep hold of the right knee with the left hand. And draw that right knee across to the left. And take the right arm out to the side for a supine twist here. When you bring that right knee down to the side of the mat, turn and look towards your right hand and soften through the shoulder. And then turn and look up. Come all the way back on your back. Stretch out the right leg. Bring the left knee into the chest. Keep hold of the left knee with the right hand. Take the left hand out to the side and then draw the body to the right as you roll to the right. And then turn your head, look back at your left hand, soften through the shoulder here. Find a twist here. Okay, and then come back. Stretch out your legs, take your feet to the bottom corners of the mat, let the feet flop to the side, rest your head and shoulders on the floor, tuck your chin in, take the arms down the side of the body, backs the hands on the mat. Okay, with your eyes either staring up or closing your eyes, take a breath in here, and as you breathe out, soften through the whole body, just let everything go now. Simply release to gravity. Feeling the connection points of your body and the ground. And allow that whole body to let go. Even a sense of grounding, stability. Scanning around your body for any tension.
And following the breath. Following the movements of the body with the breath. The sensations through the nose, the throat, the windpipe with each passing breath. Your mind is starting to wander off. Guide it back into this space. Noticing how breath starts to slow, become shallow. The body appears heavy. Noticing the lulls between each breath. Stillness here. Nothing happens. To remain in that peaceful, quiet state. Mind is anchored onto the breath. The body is pulled into the ground. With the next breath, a deep breath into the lungs. As you breathe out, let the mind off. Start to move your body, moving your fingers and your toes. Building the movement up, building the breath up. Whenever you're ready, bring yourself up, or you can stay in Shavasana if you want. Okay, yeah, sorry about the technical malfunction, but thanks for pointing that out. There you go. Thanks for doing some yoga with me tonight. It's been a pleasure, my pleasure, with such a big number. Fantastic. If you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And also, we do these classes every week, so if you're interested, get onto the channel and find out more details if you're interested in subscribing. Very good value for money, I have to say. There's loads of content once you get in, you know, videos, recordings and stuff. $14.99 a month, or you get 6 months for $75. That's really good value, actually. It's not all me, so it is good value. All right, thanks. Everybody got any questions, then you can ping me at an email or ping the Yoga for Runners HQ an email. But again, thanks for your engagement. I hope you enjoyed the class. Hope to see you again next time round, and stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.
Okay.